Hi guys, welcome back. So today's video is a hairstyling video, something I don't think I have ever done before. I am not an expert, I am not a hairdresser, I am just somebody that likes to play with my hair sometimes, when I can be bothered. I'm a 30-year-old who has basically just learned the best way to straighten her hair and I wanted to share it with people. Not quite. So yeah, today's video I wanted to show you 3 ways in which I have been styling my hair lately with straighteners. So the straighteners that I use are the GHD ones. I cannot for the life of me remember what type they are because they are years and years old, but they are still going very, very strong. And I use them for most of my hairstyling, and when I go away it's my straighteners I take away. I don't take like straighteners and curlers and other things, it's just the straighteners because they can do a lot. But yeah, I wanted to share the 3 ways that I have been using those lately to style my hair in a few different ways. So yeah, I feel like I've been putting more effort into my hair over the last few months. Sometimes. No. Generally I have. I've been playing around with it a lot more. I've really got into like the Kaylee Melissa YouTube channel and a lot of these like tips and techniques I've kind of gotten off of her, so I will link her channel below because it's amazing. And if you want to kind of like know a little bit more about like how to style your hair and different hairstyles and things, then like definitely go and check it out. But yeah, that's generally, she's kind of inspired me to sort the F out of my hair, but also keep it in good condition thanks to my hairdresser sorting my hair out last year. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to show you 3 different hairstyles. Before we do that, I will just talk you through like the products that I use to like wash and dry and style my hair, and then yeah, I'll take you through each of the 3 different styles. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because we are over halfway through May Madness right now, so we're getting there. We're getting there. And yeah, without further ado, let's talk about hair. Okay, so I very much basically use one hair care range on my hair right now for most of the time, and it is very much the L'Oreal Dream Lengths range. When I wash and dry my hair, that is the shampoo and conditioner that I use, the Dream Lengths stuff. I have just found that for me, the shampoo, I've written a whole blog post about the products that I use, so I'm going to put those below actually because it will go into a lot more detail. But those are the products that I will tend to use. But yes, enough about those. What we're going to do now is skip to the hair tutorial. So there are 3 different hairstyles. One is straight hair, one is just a little bit of a natural wave, and the 3rd one is this kind of curl situation here, all of which using my straighteners. I hope you enjoy. Okay, style numero 1 is straightening hair, because I'm pretty sure that whoever invented straighteners didn't invent them to be curlers, otherwise they would have called them straighteners and curlers, maybe. I don't know what they would have called them, but yeah, we're gonna go straight today. And I know lots of people are like, I know how to straighten my hair, you just run them through. I thought that for many years and was kind of like, I don't understand why I'm not like enjoying my straight hair. And then I started like playing around with different ways to straighten it and like ended up finding something that really works for me. So that's what I'm going to be sharing today. I do find that when I do straighten my hair, because my hair is layered and it is thick, especially when it was shorter, when I straightened it just blunt, I kind of looked like an upside down triangle, which is attractive to no one. So that's why I do a little bit of a different technique to kind of help blend the layers all a little bit more in together, have it like nice and lovely and smooth, and it's just a really quick and easy way to style. So yeah, just gonna section my hair. I don't have any fancy clips or anything, I just use a hair tie. Now I did blow dry my hair pretty straight-ish earlier. When I do straighten my hair, I don't necessarily like always do that. Sometimes I just leave it to dry naturally, or I do like a rough blow dry. But when it comes to styling my hair with like heat, I tend to try and like get it to go as like smooth and straight as possible because it just makes life 10 times easier in the long run. So yeah, the smoother my hair, the easier it is to then like actually use the straighteners. So what we're going to do is we are going to take a section. These straighteners, these are just like GHDs. They're like a really old version. They were like limited edition ones, but I've had these for years and years and they're still going strong. They're still great and I like them, although I really kind of want the new minty ones, but I don't need them because these work fine. So yeah, anyway, just take a section, and what I do, instead of doing like a straight blunt straighten, I will actually twist about 2/3 of the way down, slightly inwards, so maybe like 30 degrees, something like that. And what you end up getting is just like this little tilt at the bottom of the hair that just goes in. So it's just a little kind of curl. And for me, I found that this works really, really nicely with my layers, because it means that I don't then have like this weird triangle head. It's not like super blunt, it's like really nice. And I just kind of like bring bits together and make sure that they're all kind of like have the curl at the same point. That bit's quite curly now. So there we go, and if it's a little bit too curly then I just run them back over, but generally it works pretty well. So yeah, I just take it, twist about 2/3 of the way down and hold it there, and we get that nice little in. But yeah, I feel like it's a very like 90s style of hair rather than just doing like the blunt straight, but like I said, the blunt straight, it just doesn't suit me because my hair is thick, because I have a lot of it, and it is also layered as well, so yeah. And I just do that the whole way around, and as you see, it doesn't take very long to do. I just kind of take it through nice, not too quick, not too slow. And it just kind of comes through, and once I've done like one side, I'll just try and kind of take the whole chunk and just make sure that that little curl is all like aligned together. And then come and do the opposite side. So I'm just going to do it again so you can see. So go down, twist about 2/3 of the way down, and we get that nice little, okay, that one didn't want to do it. A little bit too curled. I'm not like a hair stylist expert in the slightest. I've just found that like from playing around with my hair lately recently and just having like trying to kind of make the most of it, taking care of it, actually like doing stuff with my hair, and this is just like the way I found that like I just really like it in the long run. As I said like 20 times now. You do sometimes find with straighteners that like they get that bit where you're going through your hair and they just kind of stutter slightly. That I have learnt very recently is due to heat protection sprays. So any products that you put on your hair really before you run your straighteners through them, they add like a little bit of resistance and a little bit of texture to the hair, so when the straighteners tug a little bit, it's just kind of gotten caught on a little bit of product, which is quite interesting. Didn't realise that. Almost this little bit. Okay, bottom layer is done, so I'm just going to do the next layer, and I tend to, please don't burn my carpet, I tend to do it in like 3 different sections. If I have just let my hair dry naturally and not bothered with like drying it properly or anything, I usually have like 4 sections because my hair isn't quite as like smooth and sort of, yeah, it's just not as smooth or as easy to work with, so it does end up taking a little bit more time, and yeah, I just have to like do a little bit more. But yeah, let's just run through layer number 2. Okay, so moving on to the top layer, which is generally where pretty much all my layers are, and I have like it shaped around the front here. This is where things can get a little bit more interesting. So I generally just follow the same as I've done before, but it might just be that I have to go over like these front bits again, just to kind of make sure they're not so, oh actually that one went really well. That one went quite well, but sometimes when I do them they're like way too curled or they just look really weird, and I'm like, that's a little bit too 90s. Yeah, my layers are like growing out a little bit now, so they're not as like short as they were, and obviously my hair in general is not as short as it was when I first started using this technique, but I still really like it. I just feel like it just blends all the different lengths together really nicely and just creates like a really nice smooth straight style. Okay, so we're pretty much done, and to be honest the front bits behaved for me, so I don't have too much to say about them, but I do generally just take, especially this bit which is like the much shorter front bit, I take it in like a larger section and I kind of wait until a little bit closer to the end to like do that little curl, because I feel like otherwise it can be like a little bit too much, especially with the length, but it's behaving quite nicely today. You can see like all the different layers coming through. That curled in the wrong way. You were doing so well, Cal. Damn it. And now it's going in completely the wrong way. Oh, I shouldn't have redone it. Shouldn't have redone it. It's fine as it was. And this side is behaving as well, so you can see like all of like the feathering that's come through there, but otherwise the rest of my hair itself, I can turn that off now. It's done, so you have a very kind of smooth and sleek, slightly tanned in straight look. Looks very much like it's been blow dried like that, but we cheated and we used straighteners. But yeah, this is how I straighten my hair now with my straighteners. This is Heated Style numero uno. Okay, so hairdo number 2. And basically what we're going to be doing today is we are just going to be putting some natural waves through this. So the idea is that we're just kind of emphasising or tidying up natural texture and natural waves that are going through the hair with actual straighteners that I still haven't turned on. I plugged them in, I didn't turn them on because apparently my brain is gone. So yeah, this was just my hair drying on its own, and I quite like doing like the waves from here because I can use like my natural texture and everything like that with it, because I do just want these waves to be like as natural as possible. And yeah, you can do it from like straight hair if you want them to be a little bit more smoother, a little bit more controlled. I quite like more kind of like messy, beachy, natural vibes. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing today. The straightener is ready. I don't have my hair tie, but yeah, let's get to it. So, as I did with the other one, I'm just going to section my hair, and generally if I curl or wave my hair, I go in thinner sections than when I straighten. I just find it easier to do. I've got like these little sections here, and I'm just going to run my fingers through. I've done all heat protection, I've brushed, I've done all of that fun stuff, so we've got all the products on there, which I would have spoken about at the beginning of this video, so I won't repeat. But yeah, we are pretty much ready to wave. So again, I've just got the same tool that I had for straightening, so my lovely GHDs, and we are just going to take a section of hair. I never really know how big a section I take, to be honest. Depends how I feel on the day. What we're going to do is we are just going to tilt in, we are going to tilt out, we are going to tilt back in, and we're going to tilt out again. And that should create a nice little natural, I'm hoping you can see this, wave with a little fling at the bottom. And because we're working with like the natural texture, we've got that in there already, so it is just going to look very kind of like natural by the end of this, but we are just going to do that throughout the whole hair. So I'm not taking huge chunks, and I also don't want this to be super uniform, so if you want it to be like extra messy and beachy, you can obviously like tilt in the opposite ways to like what you've done before. I'm just don't pay much attention to what I've previously done, so I just go through and do what I feel like doing with these, to be honest. But it is just a case of tilt in for a little bit, tilt out, tilt in, tilt out. I like having a little tilt out at the bottom. I like having like the little flick personally, and I like having the tilt in at the top, because I find if I tilt out at the top, it looks, when my hair is thick, it just looks a little bit ridiculous. To say the least. The only other thing I'd say, which I haven't done today because I'm an idiot, is where my hair is already wavy, try and separate what you haven't done with what you have done so you don't get confused. There we go, I've done it now. Little tilt in, little tilt out, little tilt in, little tilt out. And you can just do it nice and quickly, or you can do it a lot slower if you want them to be like more defined waves. So like tilt out. So I'm going this like a little bit slower. The only thing I would say is if you're going to go slower, it's probably going to do that, which I don't like. You can see you've got a little bit more kind of like defined waves there, but it was also catching on the hair because of heat protection. And you should always use heat protection, children. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish off this layer, and then going to do the next layer, and then I will come back to you when we do the top layer. Usually I would just like zoom through this, but I think A, it'll be boring for you, and B, my battery is quite low today already. So yeah, I'm just going to turn you off for a second, do the rest of this layer, do the second layer, and then I'll come back to you for the top layer. Okay, so we're at the top layer. So something that I haven't done at all yet is brush through any of the waves. I'm waiting until I've done all of my hair, have put some like texture spray in it, and then I'm just going to run my fingers through it. But for now I'm leaving it as it is. But yeah, we are on the top layer. So again, it is very much the same technique, but obviously just remember this is like the main part of your hair that people see, so you just want to make sure that like wherever you put your waves is where like you want them exactly, and that will just take potentially a little bit more time. That is not where I want my wave. I do not want my wave right at my eyebrow, so that is not what I wanted. Like I said, it will take a little bit of time to kind of really get this right. Okay, we're going to come back to that one because that one is just not playing ball with me, which sometimes happens. Hair is rebellious. Take that down, a little bit out, a little bit down, and then just like a little flick at the end. So again, this is a very kind of natural wavy hair look. If you want your waves to be more defined, take the tool through a lot slower, go through smaller sections, and I would also say straighten your hair first, because you're going to notice like a bigger difference if you're going from straight to like wavy, but it will also just help your hair appear smoother so that there's like a little bit more definition. But I like the kind of natural beachy wave look, so none of my waves end up looking anything like each other. Like you see, this front one doesn't look anything like the other ones that I've just done there, but I really like it because I feel like it makes me feel like I've been to like the beach or I'm on holiday and I've just had like just let my hair dry, and we've got that kind of like holiday wavy vibe going on. So we are pretty much done, so I'm just going to zhuzh up at the roots a little bit, and then I'm just going to grab some spray that I should have had ready. Okay, so this is just the BB Bumble and Bubble BB City Swept finish, so it like holds and it gives like more of a street texture style, which is why I quite like it for something like this. I'm going to run my fingers through it quite roughly. And if there's any bits that you want to have a little bit more wave, like any of these bits at the front for example, I might decide like to put a little bit more of a wave through, but I also quite like the fact that they're not as wavy. But yeah, but that is it. This is look number 2 with straighteners. So just a very natural beachy wave going through the hair. It looks like it's very kind of natural and very undone. It takes a little bit of practice, just so like I said, so you know what kind of like waves and texture and order works for you. But yeah, have a bit of a play. Let me know if you try this, because I really like it. I think it's a really cute natural kind of wavy style. It is a style that like you would do on the day that you want to wear it, so like by the end of like very end of today, tomorrow this will not look like this. It will be a lot more kind of like straight. It will have dropped quite a lot, but yeah, it's one of those looks that you do on the day that you want it. So yeah, I hope you guys like this, and yeah, that's it. So next time I see you, we'll be doing our 3rd and final look with these bad boys, which involves curling. One of my faves. But yeah, let's move on to number 2. No, number 3. This was number 2. Move on to number 3. Okay, hair numero 3. So this is the last hairstyle that I'm going to be showing you, and this is probably the one that I've been doing for the longest, and yet when I go through the steps in my head I can't actually remember what I'm doing. But we're going to curl it today. We are curling the hair with the straighteners. Again, probably not something Mr. Straightener thought of when he, you know, or she originally, you know, invented straighteners, or they would have called them not straighteners, but there we go. So yes, we're going to be curling my hair. So when I do curl my hair, I generally like to curl it on the same day that I wash it, as close to drying it as possible, and I like to dry my hair smooth. So I like to actually blow dry my hair before curling, because I just find it a lot easier to curl the hair if it is smoother. Now I'm saying I like to curl it on the same day that I wash it. I do like to generally leave a good couple of hours in between the dry and the curl, just because I find that then the curls hold a little bit better, they don't drop as quickly. But I just don't have time today, so we are just going to go with it, and we are going to curl. I've literally just blow dried it, so yes, that's what we are going to do. And yeah, there's so many different ways that you can curl your hair with straighteners, and if you watch, like, if you follow GHD on any of their socials, you would have seen so many different tutorials. I'm no expert, as I said with the other three, this is honestly just the way that I found it easiest to do it. So that's what we are doing. So as I do with the others, I section it out, and I tend to do about 3 or 4 layers with curling, depending on how I feel on the day. I just find that the more kind of layers I have, the more control I have. And I just brush it through. Heat protection has already gone on. And then I put it behind the head just so that, or the shoulders, just so that I can kind of see how I'm doing. This is where I'm going to forget what I do. Okay. So I don't take huge sections, but I do take it away. Go away. Go behind the shoulder. Stay there. Away from the face, and I just curl, and I just do this. Take it the whole way down, and it does something like that. I've described that really, really badly, but essentially what I kind of do is just take the section, hold the irons, and turn it away from my face, whilst kind of taking it down the length of the hair. As I get to the bottom, I just do a quick up twirl, and that's it. As I said, there are many, many different tutorials for how people kind of curl their hair with straighteners. I've tried lots of other methods that I've seen where I'm like, oh, that looks good, or what have you, but none of them have worked as well as this for me personally. So this is just what I've stuck with, and I found that lately it's working really, really well. Right, let me just do this side as well. So again, we take it away from the face, we just curl it or twirl it away and for the whole length, twirl it up and release. If you want it to be a little bit more messy, you could do alternate directions. So I'm not going to, because that's not what I like myself when I'm curling, but you could turn it the other way, if like do alternate twists, so some towards the face, some away from the face. I like away from the face just because I feel like it opens it up a little bit more. So you can see they are quite curly. My hair tends to hold curls quite well, which is nice, especially from a straightener. I have found that like when I've curled using, I've got one of the GHD curves, so one of their ones, and that does curl nicely, but I find that that doesn't hold for as long as if I curl using straighteners. But I do find if I curl my hair like this, then it works. And if I'm doing it for an occasion, like I'm going, obviously not right now, but if I was going out for dinner and I wanted to curl my hair, or I went to a couple of weddings in February where I did this, and I just made sure that I just curled my hair a couple of hours before we were due to go, just to give it time to drop a little bit so it wasn't so done, if that makes sense, or tight. It was more me, more me. Okay, so I'm going to do my second layer. I'm not going to make you watch again because I think you've seen bits, but I will come back to you when we come down to like the final layer and we do more of like the front bits. So yeah, so we are ready with the top layer, and I apologise if you can hear my cat snoring in the background. So to be fair, with the front bits I tend to just do exactly the same as I've done with the rest of it. I just pay a little bit more attention to the front bits. So because the other thing that I want to make sure is that the curls fall where I want them to fall, so I just make sure the curl doesn't go up too high, and and I want it to fall somewhere quite nice. So this works out pretty well. So I quite like having a curl away around the eye and then another one just under the cheekbones. I feel like it opens up the face, my face really nicely, and it also means when it drops slightly it will kind of fall in a really nice place for me. But I do try and make sure that the curl doesn't go right up to the top of the head, because otherwise, where I've got thick hair and I have a lot of it, I would look very, very bizarre. And then I just kind of do what I would do with the rest, but as I said, I just pay a little bit more attention to the top layer than I do the rest, because this is obviously the layer that everybody tends to see. So that is the hair curled. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab some texture hairspray and then I'm just going to run my fingers through it. Okay, so the texture spray is just the same one that I used in the last hair style. It's just the Bumble & Bumble BB City Sweat finish, and I'm just going to take that through so that even when I kind of start running my hands through, and I do this from bottom and top, the curls are still going to stay. And that's it. This is the curly hair one. So that is hairstyle number 3. That is it. We is done. And that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, let me know which is your favourite hairstyle in the comments down below. I had a lot of fun making this as well. Like I said, I'm not a hairstylist, I'm not a hairdresser, I've never had any kind of training. This is just me playing around and seeing what works for me. But yeah, I hope you guys liked it. If you did, big thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all again very, very soon. Bye.